very impressive winner at Werribee. How's he done since?
We're happy with him, Ted. Hopefully he'll win.
What about the 3,200 metres today at Flemington?
Well, he hasn't been pulling as hard this time in, and if he relaxes out in front today, he should run it out all right.
Yeah, he settled down well at Werribee, didn't he? He was always in the firing line.
Yes, he did.
And Jockey N Harnett's on it today, so he'll lose nothing there. And he 63 kilos, he comes down a couple, but up a little bit in class.
Yes, well, Nick's top rider, as you say.
Pretty hard to beat the Hall-Lacey Harnett combination. A pleasant day. It is hot, but pleasant with the breeze. Wait for the light. This is where the cup will be started from at 2:40. Ready for the first. First hurdle about 100 metres after the start. Away they go. Quendalad began well near the inside. Away pretty well Value and Colonial King, who usually shows speed. Tucked in behind those horses, Trelay Boy, as they come to the first, and Man Under's up there. Up and over the first, all over it safely. Here we comes last of all. At the second, they go over that crossing past the 800, and Colonial King comes to the second, and he jumped it safely. A length and a half to Quendalad, about a length Man Under, and Norwin Force going forward as they come onto the course proper. Then Baglaga Boy, a length Trelay Boy, a length further back on the field, Sir Rhythmic, the national winner. One away to Royal Sea, tucked in behind them, Donito. Three then to Here We Come and Norfolk Tiger. Over the third, two more to jump in the straight the first time, and Colonial King about a neck to a half to Norwin Force. One to Quendalad, and then in the centre, Baglaga Boy. Colonial King pecked at that. In fifth placing, Sir Rhythmic, and Man Under on the inside, a length Royal Sea, Value, Donito. Norfolk Tiger three deep, one to Trelay Boy with a boy high in the irons, and two to Here We Come. They make a spectacular sight over that one in front of the grandstands as they leave the straight. And Colonial Boy by a length. He's having it pretty easily in the lead. Norwin Force second. Sir Rhythmic moves up three deep, and on the fence, Quendalad. Baglaga Boy's getting a nice run as they go along the riverside. They've got three to jump along here. Then Man Under, one away, then to Royal Sea, and Norfolk Tiger three deep, a length to Value. A length further back, Donito, Trelay Boy, and one to Here We Come. That's what they're doing to this hurdle. They're coming at it now, and Colonial King got over it all right. Only about 20 lengths first to last, so the pace not all that quick. Norwin Force second, one to Sir Rhythmic, who's going boldly at the 1800. Quendalad the inside, and Baglaga Boy the centre, about six to Man Under. Two to Royal Sea at the second along the riverside, a half length to Value, one to Norfolk Tiger. Donito's dropped out last. Here We Comes going past it, and Trelay Boy the rail. 1,500 to go in the hurdle. They've gone past halfway, and Colonial King got over it, so Rhythmic moved up to join him. They're a length and a half, maybe two to Norwin Force, and on the inside, Quendalad. A length away, Baglaga Boy, about 2 lengths to Man Under on the fence, and Royal Sea the outside. Trelay Boy moving around the outside, and Donito starts to make a run. Well back as Norfolk Tiger. It's one of the last as they go past that, and Royal Sea just in front of those. 1,200 to go as they come to the next, and Colonial King with four to jump, jumped it all right. 2 lengths to Sir Rhythmic, a length and a half to Norwin Force, hard ridden from Quendalad, Donito three deep. Baglaga Boy the centre, two to Man Under, Trelay Boy moving around them, three wide at the third last. Further back, Royal Sea, Norfolk Tiger, Value second last, and Here We Come last of all. Two to jump. Colonial King's got a lot of pace on the flat, and he's kicked away at the 800. He's three to Sir Rhythmic, a length to Norwin Force. Baglaga Boy's under the whip. Trelay Boy, the New Zealander, moved to fifth. Further back, Donito. Royal Sea's commencing a long run, and then Quendalad and Value. Norfolk Tiger, Man Under beaten. Here We Come. Two to jump. Harnett looks good on Colonial King. Led 5 lengths into the straight from Sir Rhythmic. Three to Norwin Force, a length and a half further back, Baglaga Boy. Royal Sea hooked out. They come to the second last. Colonial King, the favourite, comes to it. He got into it a bit. Sir Rhythmic knocked it down 8 lengths. Norwin Force running on pretty well. Value for the place as they come to the last. They've got about 200 to go. Colonial King gets over it from Sir Rhythmic. Value's running home very strongly. Colonial King's about 5 in front. He's got it 1. I reckon Value will run the Quinella. Sir Rhythmic's trying to hold him off, but Colonial King wins. It's going to be tight for second. Sir Rhythmic did hold off Value. Fourth would have been Royal Sea and Baglaga Boy from Trelay Boy. Further back, Norfolk Tiger, Norwin Force, Quendalad, Man Under, Donito, and Here We Come. Well, you couldn't ask for any more than that. The favourite won, not a horse fell, and it was a great spectacle.
It was. It was an exciting race right from the start, and I think Nick Harnett set the pattern of the race when he took Colonial King to the front and said, right, catch me if you can, and they could not.
Splendid win to Colonial King. This horse ran second behind Joel 2 starts ago. Now, Joel's running in the Foster's Melbourne Cup today. So he really is a versatile horse, like many of Rick Hall-Lacey's gallopers, and the time's very good, Ron. It's 3:31.6. That's 2 seconds outside the record held by Nankita Lad. So the track is very fast. Second, Sir Rhythmic, a wonderful run. He ran second in this race last year, and he won the Australian Hurdle Grand National Hurdle double in the winter this year. And third, 11. Value, who ran home very strongly from second last. Officially fourth is Royal Sea with Bag Lager Boy fifth. But when they came towards the distance, there was only one thing Colonial King had to do, Ron, and that was get over the last.
Yes, he was starting to look a little bit weary at the second last, but he seemed to get his second wind here in the straight, and the others behind him, apart from Value, were getting very tired, and he certainly went to the post in good style, particularly over the 3,200 metres. It was a great effort.
Nick Harnett's been a top rider in Melbourne for many, many years, and he had a run of bad luck for a while around the National Carnival. He had a couple of races won and fell, and one on Colonial King, I won't forget, at Moonee Valley one day. But today he rode a beautiful race in front, $1.35 and 80. A bit better than that with the books. Rhythmic 110 and Value at $5 even. The beaten division, Ron?
No, I thought they were disappointing, really. I was very disappointed with Bag Lager Boy. He actually was going well early in the race and appeared to drop out at about the 800 metres.
Royal Sea battled on all right. He's not a bad type. Donito never really got into the race. He tried to make a run at about the 1,000, 1,200. He'd won his last three, but it must be a great sight, this one, Ron, on Cup Day in any race.
Exactly, and for the hurdle jockey to come down, I'll bet it's the biggest crowd that Nick Harnett has ridden back in front of, and it must be exciting for him.
Brinkworth won this race last year. He was a top-class hurdler. Paul Hillis rode him from New Zealand. And Sir Rhythmic ran second in this race last year, so he's occupied exactly the same position. He's owned, of course, by Darryl Baldock and his wife. Darryl now will be coaching in Victoria next year with St Kilda. And they had a wonderful run with him during the winter, Australian Hurdle and Grand National. And on his run today, Ron, I think Sir Rhythmic is a horse that we could look forward to in the winter again next year.
Well, Darryl always likes a jumper, and he seems to have a lot of success with them too. I mean, he trains them personally with his wife. I think his wife holds the actual licence, but I know Darryl takes a very keen personal interest.
Trelay Boy was an interesting runner. The New Zealander, he's finished out of the first 5. He only arrived on Thursday. He's now with Eric Musgrove and didn't fire today, but he might be one worth following.
Worth following. Usually those New Zealand horses, they often run very well first up, Bruce, as we've found in the past. If he didn't fire too well today, maybe there's not too much hope for him later on.
So their official 2, 1 and 11. The winner of Colonial King is by Vice Regal, who was a very good weight for age horse and has been a spectacular sire. He's out of a mare called Gazelle Hunter. It's raced by Mr. and Mrs. Alec Dodson, who own Canny Lass and Fox Hill, trained by Rick Hall-Lacey, who we interviewed behind the barrier, and Nick Harnett, the winning rider. Here we come at the last. Ronnie didn't get over it all that well. I think he was a bit tired coming to this.
He was, yes. He sort of pecked at it a little bit there, but once he's landed and got balanced again, his great talent, really, I suppose, on the face of it, he was the best performed flat horse in the race in recent form. And so he really just showed that there at the finish. He just was fit, had been set for the race. I think that was probably the key to it, that Rick Hall-Lacey had set him specially for this, gave him the preliminary test at Werribee. He came through that with flying colours and, of course, went out favourite today and won.
Yes, he won the Cup Hurdle at Werribee, where we had that shocking crash, unfortunately. He had won at Flemington before today, so he's a quality horse, Colonial King. I doubt him in the Nationals next year, Ron, because of the fact that I don't think he's a 3-mile horse, but he'll run very well in races like the Australian Hurdle over the shorter distance.
Yes, that's right, and I think while you've got Hall-Lacey conditioning them, he is a master at it, Bruce, isn't he?
He certainly is. His performance with Fox Hill over the years has been extraordinary, really. He's done a great job with that horse. He's won a national sprint and also a Brisbane Cup.
Nick, you didn't have any worries at all from the time you went out of the boxes, did you?
No, I was very pleased all the way. It settled well, but early in the race, or the first mile, I was a bit worried when Norman Force came alongside me, but after that I was very confident.
I think I can remember Rick telling me, must have been 6 months ago, he was setting Colonial King for the Cup Hurdle.
Yeah, that'd probably be right, because he's probably better on the dry tracks than in the winter time.
And he's done an excellent job with him, hasn't he?
He has. He's done, he was right for the right day, so that's the main thing, isn't it?
And do you have any sticky jumps at all the whole way around? Any sticky jumps at all?
No, I had one. Just
you got over. That's the
last one.
yes.
Yeah.
And you're just going very nicely here. Riding almost an English style, it looks like there.
Yeah, I just sort of, well, I wasn't allowed to hit him.
Francis.
I wasn't allowed to hit him.
Oh, weren't
So,
you? No, there we are, over the last, and just going right on with the job here.
yeah, it's very nice.
And of course, it'd be a great thrill to receive a presentation from Dick Francis, such a great rider.
It was, yeah. I was very, very pleased about it, because I've read a few of his books, and that, I think they seem all right, too.
Good.
He's got a new one out, Nick,
Has he?
and you should have a look at it. Ted Ryan's got it over there. It's worth reading.
I'll have a look then.
You can buy one now after that.
Yeah, I can buy one.
Congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Graham Kelly talking with the winner of the first race here today on Foster's Melbourne.